welcome to the Foxtails. This is episode number 5.
Nice.
I would love for you to introduce yourself to the folks out there and just tell us a little bit about kind of where you came from and what got you into the barber game.
Cool. I'm Michael Regino. Not that, I guess you have to have like the full name, I guess.
Yeah, what is your full name, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
So my name is Miguel Antonio Regino. Yeah.
That's dope.
It's just
That's a good
my
name.
Yeah, thanks, man. See, I don't know why I'm like nervous all of a sudden. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it's official. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Yeah. Who am I? Yeah. Who am I trying to impress right now? You know, who's in this fucking microphone?
Yeah.
The government.
Yeah, the government's in it.
Yeah, and narcs.
So Michael Regino started Shed Barbershop, as we know it, today. And I'm from Houston, Texas. That's pretty much like where a lot of my raising was from. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's interesting because a lot of people in Austin, you start to like run into the people from, I guess, certain areas of Texas.
Sure.
You know, or even like the States. So a lot of the Houston cats that I've run into are all super legit. And it's kind of weird how we all have this like mentality. And it's almost like we're not like looking at everybody being like, oh, you're thinking the same way that I am. You're just kind of like, oh, you're from Houston? I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a city that I think is very, it is so unique.
Yeah.
And it is a way of living that produces a way of thinking, and there actually aren't that many cities in America that you can say that about.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like
less than you would think.
Yeah. Even if people and I'm not saying this towards anybody that's from New York or LA or Chicago or wherever. It's kind of interesting.
I am.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now we both are.
Yeah.
So, but
fuck those guys.
when somebody says like New York, they're like, yeah, I'm from New York, so I know like how it goes. It's like, yeah, but you're still kind of this way, and it just doesn't feel good, Like, if you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
got you.
But if you're from
I lived in New York 3 times.
you understand it.
I know. Yeah.
So I think being from Houston, it's like a certain level of respect.
Yeah.
And just being in Texas in general, we have to speak louder and we have to like yell louder than everybody else.
Totally.
Right? Because we can't sit there and say, well, I'm from New York or I'm from LA or I'm from Chicago, whatever. We're like, I'm from Houston, man. I know, but I'm from Houston.
Houston, I think, has, over the past, I would say 10 years, its national perception is very different than it used to be historically.
I agree.
I think there's a few different reasons for that. I think, in my eyes, I think rap and hip hop is the biggest reason for that. And I think secondarily, sports there is really big, and you take, I'm a huge NBA fan, so you take, a lot of NBA players, they'll move to Houston more than 25 other markets.
Really?
Totally.
That's wild.
It's a very desired market to live in.
Yeah.
Which is not something that I would think when I first moved there. I moved to Montrose, lived in this place that was next door to a whorehouse, legit next to a whorehouse.
Yeah.
And was like
rub and tugs, as we like to call them.
Yeah, I think it was just tugs, honestly.
It was just tugs.
Yeah, it was pretty. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my place was nice. The place next door to it was less nice.
Yeah.
It was a 1-bedroom apartment with fake wood floors for 3 months, and it was an interesting vibe, man. But that city, I think that combination of like really raw grittiness.
Yeah.
Being totally spread out, and then contrasted by this like intense international wealth, is super interesting.
It's wild.
And there aren't those things in combination, really only exist, I would say, in LA, and that's it. Really,
I would agree.
Because New York stacked on top of each other, super international, super wealthy, obviously, and super gritty, but everything's right there, and you feel it because of that. You know.
Totally.
And so, but And then you combine the southern element into Houston, right?
Which is so great.
Which is like, and then not a lot of people know, like, it has this incredible international population. Like, it has, in my opinion, I think it's the best ethnic food in America.
I agree.
Like top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about, like Thai, Vietnamese, like Indian, everything, it's like nothing beats Houston.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I would say that whenever I first moved here to Austin, like,
it's the first thing you miss, right?
it's the first thing you miss, man. Like, completely. It's just like all the food.
And that culture too, like the sense of like, cool, like I'm just going to go to Chinatown there, and Chinatown's like 10 square miles. Like Chinatown here is, it's like a pube.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, I mean, like, even in New York, Chinatown's a street now.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So, like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And that's already starting to get gobbled up by, like, what they're calling hyper-gentrification and, like, all this other shit.
And just all these, building by building, block by block.
Yeah. It was wild because, like, whenever I did first move here, it sucked because, like, for some reason, every restaurant, every place in Austin was doing the, like, no reservations thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck, man? I just want to get a reservation. I don't want to fucking walk up and, like, wait
2 hours.
2 hours. Like,
that's always bothered the shit out of me, too.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm like, can't we just go back to the way things were? This has worked for so long. Why are we trying to break something that totally isn't broken?
Absolutely.
I want a time and a place.
Yeah. So, the phone's ringing. So
whatever.
Yeah. For those that are listening, you know, this is a functioning business, and it's happening. So.
On that note, so let's get back to that functioning business, right?
Yeah.
So you grew up in Houston, and you got into cutting hair there or here in Austin?
I got into cutting hair there.
Okay.
So I actually, I was in the service industry, and I was like been waiting tables, like pretty much all my life. Like my first job was busboy at a Mexican restaurant called Marco's Mexican Restaurant.
Shout out to Marco.
Yeah, shout out Marco wherever you are. Big ups, my guy. You did great. Those $5.99 lunchtime fajitas were their shit.
Fire.
Yeah. They actually were.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dope.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
But so started doing that, and I'd been working service industry like all my life, and wanted to do something that was more like one-on-one, because service is always going to be me.
Totally.
I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, even if I want to, it would drive me fucking nuts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So
I know exactly what you're saying. I deeply sympathize with your affliction.
It sucks.
It's like you need this certain type of connectivity with people.
Yeah.
To it's a simultaneous thing where it fills up your cup just so you can give it back, but it's like it's how we work. It's totally how we work.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Wild to think about.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then as I was bartending at this place called Fuego in Midtown, it was known for like brunch, and it was like when brunch started popping off, like it was a party every Sunday, like line out the door, everybody's like wasted, people like doing all kinds of drugs in the bathroom.
Oh wow.
Sex in the bathroom, like
at brunch.
Dude, at brunch. It was fucking nuts.
Sexy brunch.
So that was like basically me. So we had these like
Lindsay Lohan brunch.
Yeah. It was insane. So we had like $7 all you could drink mimosas. It was like a bottomless mimosa. So
for
people
$7,
would, like, $7, and
that
like this
fucking
was
dangerous.
2004, 2005.
Yeah,
like so things were nuts, and it was kind of like Midtown was on its way up. So like it was one of the wards. So like we had to walk in groups like out to our cars, like shit like that, whatever. But every Sunday was like madhouse. But there'd be this group of cats that I ended up befriending that were all like very successful stylists, and they did hair, and then I had this like interest in doing hair, and then I remember befriending them, and then ended up picking their brains, like, hey, what do you do? And they're like, it's basically what you guys do, but we just work with our hands, and it's like more one-on-one and all that other stuff, and we make really, really good money. And I'm just like,
that sounds cool.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds dope.
Yeah,
I'm over it. Like, for some reason was having like this weird moral thing where somebody would come in, they'd sit at my bar, I'd start poisoning them with all of the drinks that I was making them, and they transformed into a different person.
That is not unreasonable to think that.
It was wild. Yeah. So I was going through that, and I was like, I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
So I went to Paul Mitchell and started learning their ways of like cutting hair and like all that other stuff. Really fell in love with it. But then going through that, I was cutting a lot of men's hair. Like all my homies were just like, yo, cut me up, because everybody wanted the free haircut.
Yeah.
You know, so then you start like doing that, getting really good at it.
I mean, that's great though, because you get better.
You get better.
Like those reps are like, and they can't say, give me a refund.
Yeah, and they're not going to, they're not going to talk shit about you, because like they still want that free haircut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Like regardless of whether it's good or not, it's free. And like around that time, you know, we were all spending our money on stupid shit like going out and drinking a lot. You know what I mean? So like,
what was your so around that time, I'm trying to think, what was like the haircut that everyone was going after at that point?
At that point?
Yeah. Was that like just when the first iteration of the fade was coming in, before it got kind of, I guess, like kind of like Mad Menitized, if you will? Like because that was like 5 or 6 years ago too. Totally. When like everyone had like the skin fade Don Draper. Yeah. You know?
Totally.
Yours truly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like.
So real. No, yeah. I mean,
was the faux hawk happening? Were you giving people faux hawks?
It was more faux hawks, for sure.
Totally.
More faux hawks, and it was more like, so around this time, most guys were, you know, in their fields, and they were listening to like Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, and like, I see where we're going here.
Yeah, you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So it was more so in that sense. That was like kind of the popular like.
A little bit more length,
like
if you will.
Texture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Layers.
Cover up like this part of my eye.
Yeah, cover my eye with my really black hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even though I'm a natural redhead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm blonde.
Yeah.
I mean, so like they would sit there, and that was more so that vibe.
Yeah.
But then like, the barbering aspect started appealing to me just because I really liked the service aspect of it.
Sure.
So people fail to realize that a legit, real barber is someone that's like there to listen, to cut your hair, to like make you feel like you are the person that you are. Totally. You know what I'm saying?
That's a really great perspective, and I think it's something that like y'all do the best job of.
Yeah.
It's like every time I walk into shed and when I leave, my day's reset.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what's happening.
Yeah.
Which is powerful.
Which was
really powerful.
Yeah, that's like.
And that's the commonality with service.
Yeah. So service was always like a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, somebody told me it's 75% service, and then the rest of what makes 100% the technical, actual cutting aspect of it. So it just got to that point to where I was just like, man, I really want to focus on that. And then I found out that you could go back to barber school to become licensed as a barber. So I went to Modern Barber College off of Main Street. And basically for like 8 months, every day, 7 a.m., there'd be a line of homeless guys outside the barber school. And I was like cutting homeless dudes like hair, shaving these guys. Like they'd be like in a holding cell for the night before. They'd show up to the barber school smelling like
death.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you give them a haircut, you give them a shave, and not expect anything, because this cat can't give you anything.
Sure.
You know? And then that's where, to me, I started like really developing like, yo, if I can give this person 1,000% of the service that I'm trying to do, some cat that makes, you know, a little bit more money than him is going to feel like $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I started like really putting a lot of effort into that. And then that's throughout all of that stuff is when I decided, I was like, oh man, I really want to open up a spot that was going to be more service focused, you know, like the cutting techniques and all that other stuff. If you stay on top of it through repetition and pushing yourself and like doing that, you're naturally going to get better. Yeah. If you're not getting better, then obviously there's something else at hand, you know what I mean? So, but like the natural progression of things from what I've noticed within myself and a lot of people here is that you just get better.
It just happens.
It just happens.
It's the 10,000 hours thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I strongly believe in that. I think Malcolm Gladwell's probably an asshole, but he's a genius. You know what I'm saying? Like, which most geniuses are.
Sure.
You know, like, so yeah, that's basically how we got here.
Cool.
As far as all that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you decided to start your business, what steps did you take? You're like, okay, cool, I want to do this thing. I have this vision for it.
Mm-hmm.
What resources did you feel like you needed to have? And then how did you go about building like your opening team? Because I think that's something that's really, really underrated.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about something that's going to be kind of more emotionally driven, which service is, you know, like that's an emotional connection with people.
Yeah.
So how did you go about finding people, and what were you looking for more, I guess, more than barber skills?
Right.
Right.
It's weird to like say this because like most people don't think that, you know, they think the opposite. But I never like looked at like technical skills.
Yeah.
Like you can be the best person at whatever it is that you're doing and be a complete asshole.
Yeah.
And I don't want anything to do with you. I don't care how good at whatever it is that you are. That's like the last person that I want to deal with. You know what I mean? So
totally.
That mindset kind of like put me at like that beginning of curating like how we started and like all the people that started coming to us and like hiring on, because also starting your own business to interview somebody is the weirdest fucking thing.
Had you been in that position before?
Interviewing?
Yeah.
No, never.
It's weird.
It's so strange.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
Because you kind of do this thing where you're like, all right, you start with, I'm going to do what other people have done to me.
Yeah.
And then you realize how generally like wildly ineffective that is.
Yeah.
And then you're able to like drill down through that bullshit and like understand, okay, how do I understand how I need to get to what I'm looking for?
Right.
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 You know, first you got to know what you're looking for, which you did.
Yeah.
But understanding the path to get there, you know, it's a little bit of failure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit of failure.
It's so weird, like, the older that we get, all of those stupid cliche sayings that, like, our parents and their parents and their parents' parents and from wherever they came from just start to make so much sense,
Totally.
you know? Like, to make an
Absolutely.
omelet, you gotta break some eggs, you know? All this bullshit that's
Yeah, man.
so cheesy
Totally.
and you hate saying it,
Yeah.
but it makes so much sense, like,
Dude, it's
as you
true.
go in there. So, like, yeah, like, inevitably, the way that we started curating, like, the crew and the team and stuff like that were people that, you know, I wanted to see all day, all night for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
That is ultimately the most important part, because skills can always be learned.
Yeah,
But being an asshole can't be unlearned.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you want, like, to me, like, if you're going to work, which is basically the other half of your life,
Sure.
you want it to be dope. You want it to
Yeah.
be good.
I mean, here's the thing: if you love it, it doesn't feel like work most days.
Exactly.
You know? It just feels like you're hanging out with your friends.
It seems, yeah.
You know?
And then I tell that to everybody here. I'm like, if you're really good at curating, like, everything in your life and, like, whatever, as far as, like, the people that you're hanging out with, the people that you attract, the people that you're attracted to, inevitably what ends up happening is you come to work to chill with your homies, and then they're like, man, that was great. Here's some money. And then you're like, cool, man, thanks. Like, I'll see you again in 2 weeks or whatever,
totally.
you know? And you build this, like, friendship, and
100%.
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
What's amazing to me, I think one of your greatest accomplishments as a business owner is that you have taken a premium product, you know, like, to say, okay, like, we're going to be the best at this. We're going to try. I haven't been to another barbershop in so long, I can't tell you if you're the most expensive or not.
Right.
You know, based on 5 years ago, you totally would be now. But,
Totally.
you know, I don't know that, right? Probably up there, right?
Yeah.
Which is to say, there's not a single time where I go and get my hair cut with y'all and ever think about money.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, and I value my money, you know, like, I'm not out there spending shit willy-nilly, you know, like, it's the easiest and most thoughtless transaction. It's always so much more than worth it, you know, which is like, I mean, I get my haircut once a week.
Yeah.
That's like borderline obsessive.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's dope. I mean, yeah.
But it's
like,
cool,
I think
you
it's
know,
dope
like,
'cause, yeah.
you've like,
yeah, you're paying every week, right?
you've done that, you know, like you've done that really
Yeah.
successfully. And what's so cool is as I've moved my slots around over the years, like to work with my schedule as it changes, I've seen, you know, there's like different people, different times a day, but that vibe is always there. And if there's someone that comes through that throws off that vibe a little bit, they always work themselves out, whether if it's an employee,
Yeah.
or if it's, you know, a paying customer. You know, something always
Yeah.
ends up happening, and like chews them up and spits them out. You know,
100.
like the system and the culture
Yeah.
is stronger than any one person.
Yeah.
Which is fucking dope.
Which is really cool. And people have asked me like how we got to that point and like all that other stuff. And I just always say the same thing. A lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's legitimately day and night just thinking about that. Like trying to be empathetic to whoever's like walking in the door.
Sure.
As far, whether that be someone that works here or someone that's coming in to actually get a haircut.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the most important things, because if you can do that, that person's going to automatically be like, oh wow, you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So why am I like not going to trust you with literally the most important thing, like on my body? Like people think that they've got more important things on their body. No. Your hair is so important, and people fail to realize
It is
how important their hair is.
Such an impression.
You know?
It's such an impression.
Yeah.
It's you say it is, I would say, from afar,
Yeah.
maybe the most important form of nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you can say almost nothing, which says a lot, or you can really say something, you know?
Yeah.
And either way, that's someone's first impression of you. You
Completely.
know? And first impressions are really valuable in this world.
Yeah.
You know?
Again with Malcolm Gladwell and his like snap judgments and like all that other stuff. We don't realize it, but from birth we've been trained to make incredibly quick decisions to steer us through whatever it is this life is.
That's our human programming. Like
yeah.
It you know, sometimes I wish we could help it more than we can, you know, but like I mean it kinda is what it is.
Yeah.
So what's the best part and the most rewarding part about owning a business to you as a small business owner?
I guess like one of the best parts is just like for me at least is just like being able to have this like freedom to kind of try things and create and just kind of like have a crew or like same-minded people just kind of getting behind like certain things, you know, like if you want to like change something or if you want to like approach something like raising prices,
totally,
which is my problem right now, because I'm like, hey, we just had something really crazy happen to the hair industry that has never happened to the hair industry.
Totally.
This is like a group of people that that still to this day believe that our profession is recession proof, right?
Yeah.
It's depression proof, right? It's all of that.
Yeah.
And we
but it's
all
not
got we all got tested, man. Yeah. And on top of that, I was just like, okay, cool. It's insane. So I'm trained to be a stylist and I'm trained to be a barber. So I went to school twice for this shit, right? And it's funny because I'll listen to barbers and barbers are talking shit about stylists. Man, they can't do this shit, man. Oh man, like stylists, whatever.
They can't even paint on a hairline.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I'm a barber, dude. And I'm like, yeah, you know what's really funny? This hairstylist right here is charging $170 for their haircut, and you're charging $25, dude. Why are you talking shit about this? Yeah. If anything, you should be picking that stylist's brain on how to get to that level. 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then I also understand, like, well, guys, like, I get my haircut more often. It's like, yes, you definitely do. So now we have this, like, this insane phenomenon that has, like, happened to the world, right? Yeah. And you can ask any barber right now, yo, what's the most you've been offered for a haircut? and it goes over $200. It goes over $200 for a haircut. Come over, like, man, I will pay you $200.
Yeah.
I'll pay you $250 for a haircut.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
I've got a Zoom meeting that I've got to like get on.
Totally.
I can't see anybody, but I am dying,
Yeah.
dude. My hair is, you know what I'm talking about.
Dude, touching your ears.
It's touching my ears,
Yeah.
bro. Like, I am freaking out right now. Okay.
My dude, yeah, facts.
Yeah. And then what do all of these fools like do? They're like, we need to get open and all this other stuff. And they're just like, man, when we get open, I'm going to charge like this much, and I'm going to make sure that I just have like as many people as possible. And what I'm thinking about is like, okay, cool. How do I now raise the bottom line for this? Because now y'all know
the value.
how important we are.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, people were like saying some crazy shit to a lot of the barbers here.
Yeah.
And like all of it about, dude, I will do anything. Please cut my hair.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll risk it, dude. My mom's like, she's 95, but whatever, dude. She's lived like a great life. If you can come here and cut my hair, that'd be sick, man. Also, $250.
Whatever, she's lived a great life. Fucking fade me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Like, it's totally cool. Whatever.
That's funny.
Like, and that's what I think is really funny is that like nobody. This is the time for every barber in the world to like raise the bottom line, and nobody's doing it.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's so like, yeah. Anyway, so the favorite part of like business owner is being able to like be in a group of like-minded people where we're just kind of like together, like, okay, cool. We see this. This is how we're going to operate now. Yeah. We're going to give you our all, but we expect your all as well. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it.
Love that. What about the hardest part?
Dealing with a lot of like-minded people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, I'm going to keep it a buck. It's just like, I'm like this every day.
Sure.
So if I'm like surrounded by people that are similar-minded, they're obviously like this
and
every day.
Some days you're waving together. Some days you're
some
fucking,
days we're phasing together.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Doubt, man, for sure.
So like, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, like, that's the tricky part is just like management. Because obviously I got, you got into your profession to cook.
Yeah.
You know, but then you get to a point where you get like really good at it, and like you start to like get to that point to where it's more so about like management and stuff like that.
We know it's really interesting, and our two fields are equally reflective of this, is that once you get really good at it, you're asked to do something that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And the two skill sets actually don't speak to each other at all.
At all.
You know?
Yeah.
And I can be the best barber in the world.
Yeah.
And not have the slightest idea how to tell someone that their clippers are dull and their station's dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also,
how do I approach this person to tell
also
them
a lot of commonalities with like dull clippers, dull knives, dull station, like fucking dirty stations.
It's
it's like actually really interesting.
It's really wild.
Yeah,
it's like plug and play whenever I like talk about like any kind of service or stuff like this. So the way that I would compare this in a sense of like management, check this out. This is going to be really good. So imagine, you're ready, right?
Super ready.
So imagine you have a place this size with this many chairs, right?
Yeah.
And I hired 8 of you.
Yeah.
Like exactly you.
Yeah.
And then I had everybody.
Like a fucking nightmare, by the way.
Doesn't it sound like a nightmare?
Sounds like a fucking nightmare.
It's like, and then managing that. And then managing.
You know what's so funny is that I have, for whatever reason, the context of a barbershop and 8 of me in a barbershop is the first time that I've truly been able to understand how nauseating 8 of me would be. It seemed fine in the kitchen.
It seems dope in the kitchen,
it seems like, oh, they'll get so much done.
Yeah. It's mainly because like, and I've noticed this.
Oh, that's heavy.
Yeah, it's so heavy. So it's like I've noticed this in kitchens, and I've noticed this in the barbershops. Because like, first off, ego, huge, massive ego.
It's the drive to be the best, right? If you are trying to get better, then your drive is to be the best, you know, and you're constantly comparing yourself to people around you, and you're like looking at someone and being like, yo, like, is there a knife sharper? Is that fade better? You know, like, okay, cool. Like, always trying to get an edge.
Exactly.
Always trying to get an edge.
Yeah. And like, yo, I'm dishing out all this like gold look at this plate. Look at this plate. Look at this haircut.
Yeah.
Look at this haircut.
Exactly.
And then
throw it up on the gram. Fire fades, fire fades,
look
fire
at all
plates,
of this
fire
stuff
plates,
or whatever. And
flame emojis.
And then I roll up and I'm like, hey man, your knives are a little dull, and your clippers are dull, and your station's dirty, and you're like throwing all this stuff around here and like all that other stuff. And then that person's gonna look at me and be like, what the fuck did you just ask or like say to me? Do you see all of this shit?
Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah. Do you see this like beautiful stuff that I'm doing?
Gift of humanity that I am.
Yeah. And then I'm supposed to be like, I understand, I get it. However, you're fucking up. Yeah. Like clean your shit. Yeah. Like whatever. So it's
also the biggest bummer is when fucking dull clippers hit the back of your head.
Yeah, dude. That's a huge
sucks.
Bummer. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
But like that's probably the one part where I'm just like, oh man, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah, totally.
But that's the work. 100%. You know what I mean? I think that's the ask that keeps us coming back and getting better every day, right? Because I mean, you can work on a craft, and that's rewarding in its own way, right? Yeah. But I think when you're talking about like actually growing as a human being, if your profession can offer you personal growth, and you get to look that in the mirror every day, that's pretty fucking cool, you know? Oh yeah,
that's pretty. Cool.
I think that's the biggest thing that I've had trouble with was like, okay, once again, the sayings that we were talking about.
Sure.
Stop, smell the roses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like realize you're in a really good spot.
Totally.
You've done it.
Yeah.
You're like killing it. You go to work, and the fact that you even care so much about everybody that's in the spot, you're good. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's basically it.
But the catch-22 to all that is that I'm like you in that sense, is that we can say that to ourselves all day.
Yeah.
And we'll never believe it because we can't let go enough to appreciate it with perpetuity. I can do it for 5 minutes or for a day, totally, you know?
Totally.
But when I wake up the next day, dude, I'm right back to fucking overanalyzing everything and trying to figure out how to make it better or create something new or fix something old. Yeah. You know, I never dwell on the successes. I only dwell on the failures.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, there's a lot of people that would be like, well, yeah, I feel like you should probably, you should start like really paying attention to your successes and stuff like that. And in like my head, I'm like, yeah, but that's when you start getting comfortable, and that's when shit just starts getting weird. Yeah. And like,
what, do you want to be Floyd's?
Yeah, I've always been like in the mentality that like I'm gonna wake up.
Also, shots fired.
Floyd's.
Yeah,
yeah.
You fucked up my head too many times.
Yeah, Flirds. Yeah. Like, but like the other thing is like, Anyway, I wake up every day thinking that legitimately all of this is going to be gone.
Yeah. I feel that.
And if anything,
it's an intense anxiety.
It's so wild. Like going to sleep being like, oh shit. Yeah. This may not be there tomorrow.
Yeah, if you don't have, it's funny, I always relate things back to the movie Heat.
Love that movie.
It's a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
But Al Pacino's character, he refers to his like
great ass.
She's got a great ass.
Yeah. And you've got your head all the way up
it. His character refers to his internal angst as the thing that sets him apart from his peers.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's real.
Yeah.
You know? That's real.
Yeah.
You know? For sure. It really is. Let's touch on music, as I know you have a really strong connection to music.
Yeah, for sure.
What started that? And then I would love for you to relate that to present day in the barbershop, of how you express it like in your business and outside of your business.
So it's really funny, like whenever I talk about this stuff. So I started playing music whenever I was 8. Mm-hmm. So 3rd grade.
What instrument?
Violin.
Nice, I was a viola guy.
Yeah, you were a viola guy?
I was a viola guy.
Nice,
You're probably a better violinist than I was a violist.
But you were probably a better violist than I was a violinist.
I don't think so. We can argue about this for
a long time. Yeah. Do you want to take the rest of the podcast just talking about like how technically...
Totally. Yeah. Let's go get a violin and viola and have a fucking bow off. Throw some bows.
Yeah. Wow. All right, this podcast is over. So, we're done here. So... just started playing violin whenever I was 8, and then started on that aspect of it. And whenever you like start with like an instrument like that, of course, any other instrument is like beneath you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're totally
my
right.
brother was like playing guitar, and I was like, yeah, learn how to play a real instrument.
Yeah, what's it
dude.
like to be homeless, asshole?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yeah,
like what? You don't know how to read music? You're just reading these numbers?
Yeah.
Like you suck. So like there's the phases of that you go through, where the arrogant phase in the very beginning, where of course you think that you're like the shit.
Yeah.
And then you just start to realize that you're not the shit.
Totally.
And there's a lot of other people that are the shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In the
like,
same room.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But they're just not saying anything,
Totally.
you know? So did that, went through like orchestra through out high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, would compete and all that other stuff,
dope,
whatever.
Dude. That's rad.
And I remember like my brother was like one of the cats that was just like, dude, you're making fun of this fucking guitar, but high school's gonna hit and you're gonna start noticing girls and you're gonna realize that playing violin doesn't really get you anything and playing guitar does.
It fucks harder is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll let you say that. I'm not. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, you're an X-Man.
Yeah. I would probably agree. Yeah. I wouldn't probably. I would say yes, I am.
Yeah.
So anyway, like, did that. Started playing guitar in high school. Like my
I can just completely see you with just like a fucking totally fucking vibed out Telecaster just like thrown around your neck. It just seems like a whole situation.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So did the whole high school band shit.
Cool.
And then started like an actual band after that. With
what type of music?
So the high school band was kind of shitty. It was like
They all were.
But around that time, like this was in a time where like Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot was just like murdering it. And that's basically
murdering my fucking ears. Is what they were
and that's
doing.
what we were trying to do. So like, it was fucked up. So
you've come a long way, my friend.
Come so long. So
that's what she said.
Yeah. Wow.
Snap.
Yeah. So we coincidentally, I ended up meeting my now business partner, Chris.
That's how you guys met?
That's how we met.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Whenever I was trying to do the whole college thing, I was still wanting to do music and like all that other shit, whatever. And then started playing around with different musicians, and then I ended up meeting him. He was a fucking tremendous bass player. Still is a very tremendous bass player. And
boy, isn't it so fitting that the guitarist and the bass player ended up together?
Isn't that weird?
It's fucking perfect.
It's really fucking perfect. Cool. Yeah. And like legitimately, I would probably never play with any other bass player. I play bass to not play with another bass player because like Chris is such a fucking good bass player.
That's rad.
Yeah. So yeah, we started a band and we treated it like a business. And me and Chris just like, okay, cool. We're gonna get the business credit card, sign up for like a business account. We're gonna do the DBA. We're gonna do all this shit like legit. We bought like a van. We had a trailer. We went on tours. We released albums. Like all this other stuff. Like whatever.
Shit.
And that's essentially. I tell everybody that's how I got the practice to like work with this cat. Like to work with somebody where you're actually losing money and putting your money into it, and still be able to like respect each other and like the decisions that are made. Yeah, that's like amazing. Totally. You know what I'm saying? So when you are starting to make money, you're kind of like, whoa, this is dope. Yeah. So I love that. That was kind of it, like how we started with that, and then like I went on the path of doing hair. Barbering, and then really wanted to start the business. So me and Chris started doing that. We kind of put music to the side, and then through that, I like slowly but surely started like building my own studio. Yeah. Once I was able to make money. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. You know? So if you have to pick one genre of music as the best barbershop genre of music, what would you say it is? Best barbershop music is always going to be like, I mean, I've got to say like several, but they're all like, it's like under an umbrella. Okay. But like R&B, funk, soul, like across the board, that's going to be barbershop music. And it's probably because the barber school that, to me at least, the barber school that I went to, I forget the station in Houston, but it was the People's Radio. and it was legitimately all that. It was like 80s R&B, which like the gated drums and shit like that, and the keys were just incredible. Like everybody is like incredible that's like playing on that. So like
that's a vibe.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
vibe.
it's the best. Yeah. And then if you really want to get into it, depending on the type of barbershop, like maybe 90s hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like 90s hip hop, always going to be dope in the barbershop.
Yeah, I think 90s hip hop has officially reached this like cultural cornerstone where it is officially fit for everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's like what you put on to feel nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about, I mean, of course the same thing happened with rock and roll. It's just like, it's crazy that we've kind of been alive for both of those processes.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
It's so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. 80s hip hop, oof, so dated. Like, it's kind of crazy.
It's a tough hang.
It's
well, Here's the thing with the 80s that I think people give generally the 80s too much credit for, is that there reached a point in the 80s where everyone had done so much cocaine that their brains were legitimately like functioning at like 30% capacity.
Yeah.
And like from like 86 to 90, all art was basically that. Was just like everyone giving it a solid 30%.
Yeah.
And
they're like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking amazing,
you look
man.
at music, you look at movies, you look at TV.
Yeah.
There's like not a lot. It's like a real fucking dip in high quality art production, like across the board.
Yeah.
And it's fucking cocaine, dude. It's legit cocaine. Like, facts.
I can definitely believe that.
Yeah.
One of my things is like, I'd love to go to like a group of kids, or, you know, I can't believe I'm saying
Nice segue,
kids.
by the way. Cocaine to kids.
Yeah, cocaine to kids. I'd love to just
Also,
get into a group of kids.
Great
and
band
just show,
name.
yeah,
Great band
and just
name,
show
Cocaine to
them what real music is, man. No, it's one of those things where like, so some friends of mine, they have a group called The New Wave. Mm-hmm. So it's a homie, his name's Joaquin, and all of the stuff that they play, Selection, a lot of the rap that's like playing right now, I would love to just like drop right in the middle of them and be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna drop some heat, y'all. Grab the microphone and be like, to the hip, the hop, the hip, the hip, the don't, the something, and just see like what they say. They'd probably
just Sugar Hill
freak
gang
out.
them.
Yeah, they'd be like,
totally.
What the fuck is this guy doing right now?
That's amazing.
Yeah, 80s hip hop, man. Doesn't age well.
Do you watch Hip Hop Evolution? Did you watch that on Netflix?
Love that show.
That shit was dope.
Season 4.
Yeah.
It's
where it's at.
Master P's a fucking genius.
Dude, I was like really, I never thought I would have like so much love for that like whole vibe down there.
Yeah.
And like, it was dope.
Yeah.
It was dope. Like, I did not fuck with that music at the time at all.
Yeah.
A strong historical like edit there. Like, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Huge. Like, for,
and just like the hustle that like that was born out of was like a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for that.
Well, and then people fail to realize that the highest paid artists right now are rap artists. That's it. Like,
rap is
that's
now
it.
pop culture.
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
It is like, I mean, if you take a look at pop music and you take a look at the Billboard Top 50 or the Spotify Top 50, it's half rap.
Yeah.
The other, I would say 25 to 30% is some form of R&B.
Yeah.
And then like the rest is leftovers. Guess what's not on there? Any country.
Yeah. No, I mean, country right now is
like
trying its hardest to sound like new rap.
Totally.
Even though they say no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, legit though. I mean, there's that like, that rock song that comes along, every few years kind of thing, but like, you know, what are we doing there?
Nobody's talking about the White Stripes right now.
No.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just waves, you know?
For sure.
But
well, it's probably too soon to tell, but I think there has been a paradigm shift that is really interesting to me, in that I think that we have probably officially, it's been 20 to 25 years now of us consistently moving away from traditional instruments.
Yeah.
And traditional live performance and traditional bands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as we get further and further away from that, music takes on a new shape, pop culture takes on a new shape, how those two things speak to each other and how they influence the culture and world, I think are permanently changed. Like I don't think you're going to see. What was really interesting to me is the movie A Star Is Born, right? And it was like placing this like mega star in the context of rock and roll in today's pop culture. And while I loved that movie and thought it was fantastic, and legit made me cry, the basic believability of that existing was fundamentally problematic to me.
Really?
Yeah, just because of that basic thing of what rock bands are selling out big venues anymore? You still have the Eagles and bands like that are like, and the Stones that are like doing that thing, right? But as far as like people creating new material and really reaching masses with it,
that's insane.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it definitely has.
You say the White Stripes, like it's probably where that stops.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Black Keys, like
exactly.
Those types of bands or whatever. Bob. Does anybody realize that Bob Dylan released an album during quarantine? Like, nobody fucking knows. Nobody fucking gives a shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, cool, Bob Dylan releases an album. Guess what, dude? You've got nothing to say now. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's like legitimately one of those prolific songwriters of all time.
Exactly. Like complete. He's the Kanye of that time. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Good comp.
Like, for real. Like, that's what he was doing. Like, if you watch any interviews of Bob Dylan around that time, he had the same arrogance, the same, like, I can change things, I can do whatever I want.
And, like, this, like, really internalized energy at the same time.
Yeah. He's just, like, this being that's just, like, whatever. You know what I mean?
So, interesting question to you, and it's something that he and I covered on the podcast. How much money would it take for you to perform at Trump's inauguration if he were elected again?
How much money would it take?
If there's no amount, cool, I get it,
Okay, so
fine. What's your price to totally sell out?
Oh, yeah, perfect. And I did hear the podcast, by the way, so, and I'm in total agreement. Completely. So this is what I'll say, regardless of, like, this pandemic and all that other shit or whatever, because my answer would still be the same. But now that we have, the pandemic going on right now, it makes it a little bit more. Times. Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier for me to say, well, real talk, I'd probably do it for like $100,000. And the reason is because I don't know where I'm going to get money after this.
Yeah.
If the world falls apart,
that's an honest answer.
I'm going to play whatever anybody wants me to play because I'm a good worker. Totally. You know what I mean? And like, it spans that. Like for the record, his mom would be very pissed at that answer. Really? Well, yeah. But then, like, I'm just going to be super real. Most of the people that are going to get pissed off at you, that's just as long as it's going to last. Because how many people are still pissed off at Kanye for wearing a MAGA hat? Yeah. You know what I mean? Totally. How many people are pissed off at Kanye for, like, any of the shit that he's done? Totally. But he just became the first, like, or now, not first, but he's now a billionaire, as whatever the disclaimers are. You know what I'm saying? So, it was at the least $100,000, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yeah. If you get a letter being like, "Hey, we want you to do this. It's for 30 minutes. It will be televised, and we're going to give you a check for this much money." Why wouldn't I do it? You know what I'm saying? Totally. Yeah. What if all of a sudden the world collapses and I can't cut hair anymore and like all that other stuff? I feel like that's one of the issues that people are failing to realize, and it actually keeps a lot of people from truly being as creative or exercising those limiting beliefs every avenue. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still be a good person. Most of the people that start making money, though, end up becoming bad people. That's just the way that goes. Like, because you get comfortable with it. Ricky Gervais has been calling out everybody with it.
Totally.
He's just like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to what you guys have to say because nobody has any room to say it. So most of the time, 9.5 times out of 10, the people that are talking shit or the people that are upset probably have a really good life. And they're able to think about stupid shit like that.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Because trust me, the mom that's got 5 kids that's having to like crawl up the fucking stairs with grocery bags and all that other stuff is not worried about women's rights.
Yeah.
She's worried about feeding her kids.
Her 5 kids.
And she's worried about getting to work. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And the moment that I go up to her and waste her time to talk to her about feminism or anything that's like actually happening in the world, she's going to look at me straight in the face and be like, can you move out of my way so I can get past you to get on the subway, to get my kids home in time for dinner? Because I don't have time for this shit. I'm living my life. You know what I mean?
So I do want to push back on that a little bit, which is to say, I think that there are solutions to that, right? Like, you know, giving that existence greater resources, right? You know, like, how do we value people more? I mean, you know, a great example is like, you know, what you brought up in
earlier,
the barber community. Is
totally.
like, okay, cool. Like, how do we have? I mean, this is gonna pretty much just steamroll right into a socialism conversation. Fuck it, I'm here for it.
There are plenty of socialist like communities that are thriving.
That's the thing, right? And so I mean, to be frank, a more even distribution of wealth, you know, so that like it's I could give a fuck about people having less money. I could care a lot about people having more money. Yeah. You know? And that to me is like that basic inequality of like having to work so hard just to fucking skate by is something that I feel like we have, the resources to do a better job of preventing. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I think that we all saw, beyond a shadow of a doubt, like how far we are away from that as a country. Completely. You know, we had no backup plan. No. We had no answer. We had no, okay, cool, if shit gets rough, you know, it's like, you know, our answer as a country was like, here's grocery money for a month. And also, if you can't pay rent, cool, you just have to pay all your rent in 3 months. So good luck figuring that out, even though there won't still be work. Yeah. But you'll just live with that anxiety of like this fucking $10,000 bill that's going to compound over the next 3 months that we will be completely unhelpful with. You know? Yeah. And I get it, but, you know, it avoids the hard conversations, because what it avoids is asking, you know, the people that own, commercial real estate, and it's asking the big boys to take less money, you know? Yeah, and that's really... And the government has always had a hard time doing that. Totally. Yeah. So, anyways. That's when I start... I'll always say this, like, whenever shit like that starts rolling out, I'm like, this is above my pay grade, so... Sure. I'm not going to even, like, embarrass myself trying to act like I know what I'm talking about, because even the people that are telling me that they know what they're talking about, I still kind of look at everybody with, like, doubt. You know what I mean? It's sure. It's something that I made up. Yeah, like 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's so it's weird. It's like if I can tell you what I believe. Yeah. Can I tell you a concrete path to get there? No, I can't. Exactly. I totally wish I could. Yeah. You know? And even like all the people that are sitting there telling us like what's right, what's wrong, whatever, if they have zero experience about it, but they're like reading about like scenarios or whatever, there's like the only thing that in this life that I know of is experience. Experience like goes a lot further than the person that's like reading the instructions. You know what I'm saying? Like completely. No, that's really well. You know what I mean? No, that's great. And like I brought this up last night in a conversation where I was like, okay, you walk into a place, right, to get your hair cut, and you sit down in the chair and you do the consultation, and the person's standing there and they're like looking at you and they're like, all right, cool. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shape this like this. It's going to accentuate all the parts of your face to like provide you like an oval shaped face, because oval is ideal and we all want what's ideal, and like all that other stuff. It's going to make you look like every actor that you're thinking that you kind of look like, you know what I mean? And it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to do this to your hair. You're going to look like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Dude, I've been studying so much. Like I look at fashion trends. I look at GQ. Like I learned all these. I went to this school. I like learned how to like cut over here or whatever.
I just want to let you know this is my first haircut.
Totally.
How are you going to feel in the chair after hearing all that bullshit that you just heard, and the person says, this is my first haircut?
I will
ready
feel
for it?
At best 5% better than I would have if you just cold open with this is my first haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the breadth of your resume speaks louder than anything else.
Yeah.
It's a good
and then that's the thing. Then you have the other cat that's like sitting next to you. It's just like, man, like I was living in the hood and all my friends needed haircuts, and I realized that this kept me in my house making money instead of out on the streets, like risking my life, like getting killed or like selling drugs. So I decided to do this. I didn't really learn anything. I don't keep up with GQ. Actually, I don't give a fuck about like style or GQ or whatever. But
my shit's tight.
I've been doing this for like a really fucking long time.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit in his chair or her chair,
just for the record,
their chair.
I did make that choice one time, and it's well, I mean, actually a lot more than one time. And there was one time where that guy from the hood that had all the experience really fucking burned me.
I heard this. This is on Fermines, right?
Yes.
That you're talking about? This is so good. Yeah, go ahead.
This guy would like I walk in, like, okay, cool, great, awesome. He pushes my hairline back a solid 2 inches. So like I have like this whole, you know, like this, you know.
Yeah.
Like a widow's peak situation.
This is what I love to do. I like to make everybody that has the widow's peak feel really good. You got like a little bit of the Jude Law. You know what I mean?
Oh, don't think I don't tell myself that every day. I'm like, yeah, it's starting to thin out a little bit, but like pretty soon it's going to be
not
Mr.
like
Ripley
thin.
situation.
I'm just talking about like the widow's peak.
Oh no,
dog.
totally.
I'm not talking about
but also that.
Yeah.
He and I talk about it fucking weekly. No, anyways, this guy, so like he gets me in the chair. Sides are good, right? And then he's like, okay, time for the edge up. I'm like, all right, cool. So just gives me the full-on Stephen A. Smith. Mm-hmm. Like where I'm just like, okay, cool. I have to immediately go back to my dorm room and shave my head.
Damn.
Yeah. Now, granted, I was getting a bald fade with like a 1 on top at that point. So like,
oh yeah, I mean, so that was something
whatever.
that you were used to. Yeah.
But
that's wild.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Like you have somebody that you're like looking, and you're like, whoa, man, their haircuts are like really, really good, but they just can't empathize with the person that you are. So they're like, well, he's gonna like this. And you're just like, what? This isn't what I wanted. Why are you spray painting me right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want spray paint, you know?
What do you think is the best way to find a good barber in a new city?
In a new city?
Yeah, like, how do you, do you find someone with a good haircut? Because, I mean, I will say, like, Google ain't the answer.
Yeah, so I guess, like, 2 ways. Like, the logical way, and then, of course, like, the funny dad joke way.
Sure.
So
let's get them both.
Yeah, the logical way would be like if the person that you've trusted with your hair has no idea that there's another barbershop or salon anywhere else in the world, like you should probably be worried. You know what I mean?
You probably don't have a very good haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Because that person's not like in the community at all. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like if I ask you, I'm like, Paige, what restaurants should I go to?
Yeah, like I'll give you a fucking laundry list.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in Colombia right now. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's this like crazy like.
He would be like, why are you in Colombia? You should go to Venezuela instead.
Oh shit. Are you Venezuelan? Dope, dude. That's awesome. Yeah.
Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, another like thing with like the Coke thing. It's really funny talking to people about like people that are pro-choice, people that are like all about like doing really well and good for the environment, doing really good for like the world, and like they care about people as they do like a line of blow,
a ripping blow.
Yeah, just ripping blow.
You know what is actually one of the most unifying things in the world among the polarly opposite sides of the political spectrum is cocaine.
Yeah, but what
it really brings the world together.
It brings the world together, but like at the same time, like that person that's snorting that line of cocaine has no idea how many kids were probably raped or killed or
just
whatever.
The fucking fucked up shit that is attached to what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you're completely right.
Or even this,
is it a fucking lawless industry?
Yeah. When's the last time you went to a coffee shop and saw the pictures of them going to Colombia and meeting the farmers, that doesn't exist anymore. Like, that doesn't exist anymore because we started to realize what these people were doing. We were Americanizing these fucking, like, places. So, like, oh yeah, so this is a picture of me at Valdez like farms or whatever, and here I'm over ordering what this farm can actually produce because they can't handle it because they were just doing this for their community and all that other stuff. So now this is a picture of me over ordering to basically liquidate his farm. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they can't produce whatever. It's the same shit that's happening to mezcal. Like,
oh, interesting. You know
what I'm saying? So anyway, I think it's all fucked. People just need to, like, relax maybe just a teeny tiny bit, you know, and realize that, like, for whatever reason, all the people that are bitching about the government are also asking the government for their unemployment that they're getting. You know what I'm saying? And, like, it's super weird. So anyways, we went on a fucking tangent. I don't know.
Okay, let's go. We're going to go lightning round now.
All right, sweet.
We're going to go moon landing first.
Okay. Oh, shit. Now we're doing the heavy shit now?
Yeah. But we're going to go lightning round. So we're not going to go too deep. Okay?
Yeah.
So, in 5 sentences or less, give me your thoughts on the moon landing.
Fake.
Okay. One word. I love it. I love it.
And the only reason I'm saying that is to fuck with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You realize that, right? It's like, whatever. Yeah, you're going to throw science at me? Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Fake.
Fucking fake news.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I did meet an astronaut once. The guy with the mustache, the white hair, he did the David Bowie cover. Chris something, I forget.
I have no idea.
Fuck. Anyways, he's in this documentary called One Strange Rock that is... narrated by Will Smith, which was super weird at first, but then you get used to it. It's like Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green in Party Monster playing gay men. Like, at first you're just kind of like, are they overdoing the accents? Or like whatever, and then you just kind of get used to it. But anyway, like, he's in there.
Also, really good comparison.
No, but that's like really the way it is. Yeah, like Will Smith narrating something is weird. You know? Like Morgan Freeman, even Leonardo DiCaprio will kill it. Like I saw him do one, or like listen to one, where he was doing like the Hubble stuff or like whatever. But so it was weird, but I got used to it. But he's one of the astronauts on there. But I met him, and like that was incredible because in my lifetime I've never met anybody that's been to fucking space. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of wild. So. I'll say
it's a very small number of people. That's why.
So I'd love to talk to those people. But fake.
Cool.
Yeah.
Super Collider.
Definitely changed the world.
So, really interesting thing. I had forgot about Super Collider until you sent me the message of like I asked 3 things like, hey, like, you know, like give me 3 things you want to talk about, and that was one of them. And I said, okay, I need to refresh my memory on this. Holy shit. Also, you know what it is today?
No, what is today?
So, well...
Your birthday.
No. What they make. So, shouts to
Happy
me!
Birthday,
Big shouts to my birthday!
That's what it is.
Weird.
Men
that really over-celebrate their birthday.
Like canned laughter, like claps and stuff like that? Yay?
Can you actually insert the Seinfeld theme song and then like canned laughter after that? Thank you.
You know what today is? Absolutely. It's your birthday.
So that thing is now a manufacturing plant for the oil and gas industry.
Interesting.
The whole... God, what a weird fucking situation that was.
The whole thing's really strange. So
it's wild.
Yeah, the only way that I knew about it, like I knew about it, I think we all knew about the Super Collider and all that other stuff, but had no idea what exactly it was about and like all that other stuff. But from what I remember where I was like in Houston. I was living off of Jack Street, which is off of Richmond. I used to go to this bar called the Proletariat. Do you guys remember Proletariat? Do you remember that? It's like a small dive bar there.
Dude, I lived off of Richmond too. That's where that's where the fucking whole whorehouse situation was.
Sick.
Yeah. So yes.
So I was living off of an apartment there, and
big shout to Richmond.
Yeah. Shout out Richmond and the proletariat.
Yeah.
So I had one of the old school like CPUs, whatever. It was a compact Presario.
Tight.
Hell yeah.
Fucking tight.
So, and Google used to do this really cool thing where if it was an anniversary or something special was happening, they would change the Google logo
I remember that.
whenever
Yeah.
you would like log in and
Yeah.
stuff. And this one was the actual Super Collider. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then of course like deep dive, start going into it. I'm like, okay, cool. So they built this thing. They don't know what's going to happen when they turn it on, but this thing is going to like bend dimensions and like just do all kinds of shit. And they're just like, let's turn it on and see what happens. And then ever since then, like if you really start breaking shit down, it gets a little strange.
It's weird.
So
It's super weird.
yeah. Anyway.
Heavy.
Yeah.
That was the best one.
Yeah, that was the best one.
Yeah.
So I just like I like to look at coincidences.
Totally.
Every Republican president, fucking drastic thing that happens. Every like Democratic president, it's something kind of weird that happens, or he dies. You know what I mean? Like kill him or whatever. But for the most part, like you know what I'm saying? Like Republican president, something weird's gonna happen,
Yeah.
and it's usually right before they're about to get reelected for a second term. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of interesting, and that's just like as far as my conspiracy
No, I mean
theory goes.
There's a decent amount of historical data to back that up. You know.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Like totally.
Yeah.
Like most Republican presidents are like something's not liking whatever the fuck they're
Yeah.
doing. You know what I'm saying?
But
then we like them so much that we reelect them again.
that's
and
what's
then,
interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, I don't know if our country's ever been more divided politically, right? You know. I legitimately can't see or understand the other side of the fence for the first time in my life.
What's the other side? What
The
do you mean
people-
by the other side?
The people who are going to vote for Trump,
oh,
right? Like,
gotcha.
Like even when Bush got a second term, I understood that other people held different beliefs, and that's why they voted for him, even though I don't agree with those beliefs.
Cool. I can break it down really quickly.
I can't understand
yeah.
what people believe in with this guy.
Right.
To me, there's nothing redeemable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the upside?
I agree completely. I can give you a little bit of insight
By all means.
to basically
I love me some insight.
all of the United States minus certain parts of New York City, certain parts of LA, well, all of LA, all
Yeah,
of California.
sure.
Which now, actually, I feel like through all of this pandemic shit, like California might start inching towards that conservative like
Interesting.
realm, because a lot of the millennials are being like, yo, I didn't work this fucking hard for y'all to fuck me completely over.
Yeah.
So a lot of leftist liberals, like whatever you want to call them,
Sure.
like are starting to inch towards more the conservative thing, because people are like losing their shit over
Yeah.
there. They're just like, yo, we're closed down. This sucks. We need to open up.
Yeah.
And then Texas is over here like, woo, we're opening up.
Yeah.
And then everybody's just like, what the fuck? But it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, we'll see what the long-term ramifications of that are.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, I think I'm always hesitant to say, you know, listen to the scientists when there's no data to back up any science. Now, I get, like, we can just take the data of what's already happened and say that, you know, by raw numbers, if we continue to elevate our exposure to other people, then more people will get sick, more people will die, right? That's a pretty logical extrapolation. But it's also hard to say, I know this thing that hasn't happened before, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It is interesting to me the way Texas has handled this whole situation.
It's wild.
a
And
trip.
one of the other things that,
It's so Texas, though, is the thing.
oh, it's so
It-
Texas.
it's so Texas. It's like, okay, cool. We're like going to go with the flow, you know, like we're chill. We're not going to be like super loud about it, you know, but we're Texas.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we're definitely going to prioritize our perceived civil liberties over physical human health,
Oh, for sure.
which is like classic Texas.
Classic
you know?
Texas.
Like, I mean, you see that like with gun laws and shit like that too. It's
Yeah.
like and cool. You know what I mean? Like I think part of that spirit is also one of the like kind of fundamental things that makes this like such a great place to live and like such a robust economy.
Totally.
And I think that there is like a double-edged sword to that, which is it's really hard to reconcile that right now, because that same spirit, I think, will also be what gets us out of this shit and what creates innovation. Right?
Totally. Absolutely.
And so it's like really, it's really fucking hard, you know, because like I disagree with a lot of the decisions that have been made.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
you kind of see it.
You got to fucking push forward.
Yeah.
And not just fucking stand there with your feet in the mud and complain that you're fucking wet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, totally. It's one of those things to where like
we are pioneers. Like that is our job as Americans, like as Texans, is to like to push forward.
Yeah, to be that that figure, if you will.
God, so, I legitimately sound borderline Republican right now. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit, you're right. Oh my God, it's happening.
No, this is what I'm trying to tell you though. Like, that's what's insane is because it is divided, right?
Yeah.
At least we think it's divided.
Sure.
So we think that it's divided because of through algorithms and like understanding like how we're fed news and like how we're fed whatever it is that we're looking up. We're seeing things that we on a regular basis and our friends see, so then we're automatically getting fed whatever that is. So we imagine the world as this like very small piece of like what's going on. So to explain Trump to let's say 100% of the Austin population is to be like, okay, cool. I'm going to explain Trump to you guys really quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to need everybody in this city to like get on buses and let's just drive to the middle of America, and we're just going to take a road trip down America, and we're going to like look at everybody that lives in America, not just Austin.
No, you're totally right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it what's so funny is that I had the exact same experience. I was the morning after he got elected, I was going to work that day, and I used to live in South Austin in the burbs in the 78748. Not big shouts, the 78748, small shouts. And I was driving down my street, and I was like, this, that, and I see all these things, and, you know, like I can see like, okay, like there's an A&M flag, there's like a Blue Lives Matter flag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I live in the reason this happened.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't get it before that moment, and then it all hit me, it fucking cascaded down on me, and you're totally right.
Yeah.
Is that ultimately the hardest fundamental thing to do, for whatever reason for us, is to put logic and fact over political habit and history.
Yeah.
You know, we are such products of what our parents and families have taught us and ingrained in us, and our life experience to this moment, that that asking ourselves to challenge that and to consider the fact that we may be completely wrong in that belief system is something that so few people are capable of doing. You know, on both sides of the fence. You know, like I'm just equal to that. I think I'm more open-minded generally, and I think I have a willingness to see the other side, to be empathetic with the other side, and to try to understand it and see where they're coming from. Right.
Totally.
And that is, I think, the fundamental difference. Not to stand in judgment of it, but I think that is a fundamental difference. If we can do that, then we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like just to try to understand our brothers and sisters, even if we're never going to agree with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I guess like the reason that I said it is because, and I know you probably know this, but very early on, we got contracted by Progressive Motorcycle Insurance to like travel all over the States.
Yeah.
And we were doing beard trims and like neckline cleanups to most of the people that would come to these like motorcycle rallies and stuff like that. And at first I was like, oh man, motorcycle rally, what's the worst that's going to happen? You know what I mean? How's this going to be like whatever? And then you see, and you're just like, what the fuck
is going on here?
Yeah, like people are like, oh dude, South by, it's like one of the biggest events. I'm like, dude, fuck South by, fuck ACL, fuck like all these places. Go to Laconia Bike Week. Like go to Laconia Bike Week and you will see in droves, like hundreds of thousands of people on motorcycles that are paying into the system that are there for their goddamn rights.
Yeah.
And there to hold their guns.
Yeah.
And there to vote for Trump. And there
It's a
to
whole
like
thing.
for the American dream.
It's a culture.
And all that other stuff.
It's a culture.
And that's just one city.
Yeah.
And this is all over the states.
Yeah.
Then you go to Arkansas, Fayetteville, and you're sitting there drowning in it. Man, like, if you want me to be super real, went to Sturgis. The first time I was in Sturgis, South Dakota for Sturgis, which is like the second oldest or one of the oldest gypsy runs, as they call them. And I'm sitting there, and a Hell's Angels, like one of the guys like comes and sits down, and he's like sits down, gets ready, and all that other shit. And he's just like, man, I just got out of 10, man. This is really great. I'm gonna go see my bitch or like whatever. And he starts like talking. He's like, man, I ain't never had a cut my hair, man, but I know that like and cut the best hair. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting. Ask Santi, ask him this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
You have a decision to make.
No, well, yeah. At that point, it was survival. I was like, there's more of this guy.
Yeah, fuck, you're right. Yeah.
There's
Jesus.
more of this guy. And I can do what everybody here would do immediately and be like, excuse me?
Sure.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about like the moment.
You're real out of your element.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, cool. This dude just said a vile word.
Sure.
On top of another vile word. And I'm one of those vile words. And now I'm about to service this guy.
God.
And I'm looking at him and his friends, like, looking at me because they're just as confused as to why I'm cutting his hair.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, all right, cool. Well, yeah. And I was like, well, this is something that I forgot, like, what I said. I was just like, this is something that you can, like, tell your baby mama or whoever you want. But, yeah. And he even, like, what was so weird is that he even paid it with a compliment. He's like, well, y'all, like, cut the best hair anyway. And I was just like, you're right about that, dude. Like, just cut his hair.
Interesting.
Yeah. He tipped. He was very nice. Like, whatever. But it was just his mindset.
That's his belief system.
And that was his belief system because, like, earlier on, he's like, just got out of a 10.
Yeah.
That means 10 stretch. So homeboy just got out of prison.
Jesus.
And in prison, it is legit segregated like that. It's like white, black, Hispanic, no Asian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, completely. Like, that's how that goes.
Yeah.
So, like, that could have been my time to sit there and, like, drop some knowledge on this guy.
First of all, he didn't come for you.
No, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's when
really
I was.
interesting.
That was like a taste.
That's so interesting. The level of acceptance you had in that moment. For that is really fucking like. I think that's actually really powerful.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I don't know what it was. I was just kind of like, this is fucking crazy.
That's wild.
And I looked at Santi, and Santi literally, his eyes were like huge.
Yeah.
Because Santi's got it rough.
Totally.
Because he is a white-looking Latino guy.
Totally. So he gets a lot of comments that mean something different than what people think they're going to mean to him.
Exactly. So a lot of these Hell's Angels were just going for it. And he's like, bro, I shouldn't say this out loud in front of him. He's like, bro, I'm Colombian. He's like, I'm Colombian, dude. Like, I'm brown as fuck.
Yeah.
But because I have an olive tone and, you know, I look like what you perceive as a white guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that goes. So, like...
that's a fucking crazy story, man.
It's weird. And, like, not thousands, talking hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, what Progressive is recording. They're like, this makes up 3% of our plans. 3% of like what Progressive makes as an insurance company is from this. And each motorcycle rally, maybe 400,000 or 500,000 people like frequent these that are going through these motorcycle rallies. And we would do like, I don't know, like 6 of them in the summer. And that's all it was, dude. Every place was just like, Trump this, make America great again. Like, I'm saying real people that are out there that we have no clue about. And then I come here, and then everybody's like,
I just don't get it.
Yeah, how did he win? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, totally. No, you're totally right.
Yeah, and I'm like,
You're
you know
100%
how
right.
he won?
Yeah.
By putting his name on that fucking stimulus check.
Yeah,
That's how he won.
totally.
And everybody here is going to talk shit about it and all that other stuff. But he was so genius in doing that because he knew that these cats are going to be like, free money
Trump check.
by Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's great.
Literally a branding. The president took a branding opportunity.
1,000%.
Yikes.
Isn't that wild? Because, like, what's really crazy is that he voted against it.
Yeah.
He voted against the stimulus
And then put
for
his
the
name
economy.
on it. Yeah.
And then as soon as they, like, okayed it, he was like, wait, I want to put my name on it. So crazy.
Classic Trump.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry that I defiled your...
No, that's perfect. I think that's a great. I think that's a great point to end on. Actually, that's perfect. End with a little fucking rally Trump talk.
Woof.
Good shit. Good shit, brother. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything you want to fucking holler out or plug or anything like that before we jump off here?
I mean, I don't know. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family.
Take care of your barbers.
Take care of your barbers.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, take care of yourself because that's essentially is what's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you're concerned for black people, befriend some of them. If you're concerned for trans people, befriend some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what matters. Don't say that you know what they need or what they should be doing or like whatever without having any of these people as your friends. That's what I say.
Yeah. If you
Before you speak out, be a friend.
Yeah, that's really well put, man.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's real as fuck. All right, Foxtails, we out.